Alright. Hey yo, thank you for joining me for a Galaxy Heroes video today. And we're going to be going over the feats for the Stranger. The Stranger is the next Conquest character coming into the game. As you know, I always go hard on the Sith characters, and sometimes I skip the characters that I probably shouldn't. Hence why I'm farming things like Ezra and Luthen through Proving Grounds. Anyways, but once you add a Sith to the game, I get serious FOMO, so there's a good chance that I'm going to do whatever I have to make sure that I get this character. I am going to start saving up the gear and everything needed for him to take him right to Relic 9. If Relic 10 is available when we get him, he might be my first Relic 10, just because I'm a huge fan of the character. On the screen right now is a list of all the feats. I'm going to go over them, but if you would like to pause here, look at it, you know your roster, right? You know what you're looking at here, and you probably know how you plan on getting these things done. We're going to talk about some ideas about how I plan on getting it done. I do have some placeholders for how other people might get it done throughout the list of squads that I use. I also set up a list of squads in the actual squad management tab, so that it's easy for me to say, well, I want to work on this feat, let me grab this team, throw them in. So hopefully this gives you guys some ideas and helps you figure out how to get this red crate. I think this is going to be a very vital character moving forward, because I don't think he's going to be the only one from the Acolyte show that we're going to get, which I know makes me happy and makes some of you sad, and that's okay. So we're going to hop into the game, and we're going to start talking about the global feats. I'll try to move quickly through them. 20 battles with 4 Dark Cyclones. Pretty easy. You gotta have the 4 Dark Cyclones. Their best leader is Lord Vader. Very easy one to go ahead and tackle here. Evasion downs. We have the Darth Malgus team. Assassin will apply evasion down on her basic. Basilishan has the potential for AoE evasion downs, so that is a fantastic team to get that done. You can also use this team for things like tenacity down, buff immunity, so this team can handle a lot of stuff for us, and usually does for me. Evasion down cheese, I have this in here because we have the ability to apply it on 3PO and Chewie's basic, and so what you could do is find a node with a droidica, you kill everybody but the droidica. Droidica goes into damage immunity, you hit auto basics. You're constantly stealing its turn meter, so it stays in damage immunity, and every time you use a move, 3PO and Chewie assists. So you end up with a situation where you're just stacking a whole bunch of evasion downs. Sometimes you can get this done in one battle doing that. So, and then in the last like 30 seconds, you throw it on auto. Either Chewbacca slams and takes away the buff, the damage immunity, or Commander Luke will use his second move and take away the damage immunity and trigger all the exposes that are on there and instantly kill him then. Galactic Republics. Now, I do not have Jedi Master Kenobi, so I made a couple of different teams trying to alleviate the energy usage, because that is going to be a little bit of an issue here, because a lot of these teams are going to be repetitive, because you've got characters like Padawan Obi-Wan. Padawan Obi-Wan does every debuff and every buff, as long as you have his Omicron. That should be incredibly specific there. I have it. I think that this is going to be my first Conquest with it on, so I think that's pretty cool. But, I mean, it just does everything, right? So having that kind of makes a lot of these feats go a lot easier, but you don't want to burn through all of the energy all at once. So I have 2 other teams here. Gas 501st is another fantastic one, and depending on the data disc that we have available, things like attack out of turn, recovering protection, stuff like that, that team is almost unbeatable. And then the idea is to 3-star every battle on your way through. One piece of advice is, like, yes, you want to 3-star every battle on your way through, but if you do 2 or 1-star battle, move on, come back to it later. Those 2 or 1 aren't going to make a difference unless you absolutely need them to come even to complete another feat and get that red crate here. So get through the battles as efficiently as you can, use the best teams for the best situation, and then circle back for feats when you have a good collection of data discs. Well, hopefully a good collection of data discs that is completely RNG dependent. So Gas 501st is a fantastic one, and then I like Padme Amidala with Cat on the team. I think this team is very tough, handles a lot of things, like you can put them against some of those Geonosian teams, things like that. And you know, Cat does have an insta kill that you can get to, and with courage, sometimes you're just nuking people out anyways. So that's an easy one for me. Excuse me. I have two ways to do the evade. The second one is obviously one that I'm probably not going to do myself, but I think it's one that most other people do, is using Jedi Master Luke, or you could use Jedi Knight Revan if you don't have Master Luke. Though I think it'll be a little bit harder. And using Grandmaster Yoda to spread foresight to the team. Hermit Yoda also spreads foresight to the team. And so you can use that and keep everybody dodging. And there's a whole bunch of data discs that involve Converse agility, lets you evade better. There's one that helps you premonition. You get like 7 buffs, and then you get a stack of foresight, and then when you dodge, you reduce your cooldowns or increase your turn meter, things like that. So there's a lot of things that you should grab along the way to help that evasion feat along. But the way I'm going to do it is going to be Darth Maul lead. You do need the Zeta for that to work. But Darth Maul lead, Malak, Assassin, Talon, you guys pretty much stay in stealth, let them attack Malak, and then eventually, you don't have to, but you can nuke them with the Sith Eternal Emperor when you're ready. Teams like Geonosians, Mon Mothma, right, they attack a lot, and you end up dodging a lot. You crit Malak, and then he goes into stealth, and then he dodges a couple of them, and then he comes out of stealth because somebody crit him, and then they're feared. It's a nice little play on the mechanic there, where if you crit him, he goes into stealth, and then he applies fear, and then he comes out of stealth with a taunt. It's pretty effective at getting those evades done. Again, you can always get some disc help. Profit. If you have Pirate King Hondo, you don't have to think twice about it. I was looking at that today. I was pretty impressed with how easy it looks like it'll be for the people who have Pirate King Hondo to get 100 profit. If you do not have Pirate King Hondo, it's going to be a little more difficult. You're going to be relying on your Separatists, and you can only have 5 stacks of profit at a time. And your source for that is Newt Gunray. It's in the so when you do the first special, and it gives them the extortion debuff. If they pay the price, it gives your whole team profit. You can go up to 5 stacks. Now, I did put Geonosian Brute Alpha in this one. I think that's going to be a really good use, because the Brute should also get you a stack of profit. I believe he's tagged as a Separatist. I could be wrong. Right, I've never had to do this before, so I'm hopeful that he does get the stack of profit. I also have Trench in here, but my Trench isn't really game time ready, so I think we'll need a lot of disc help to get that done. But if he can, and we're able to use this pretty efficiently, that might be the way to go as well. And then there's the special title, Outlaw title. It's using these first 3, Dash, Hondo, Lando, for 3 battles. I threw in Chewbacca and Han, because Dash, Han, Chewie can get all sorts of stuff done. And again, it's difficult to sell that too hard, because we have a lot of opportunities that we need Chewbacca and Han for later. And also Dash. Dash can apply a couple of nice and needed debuffs throughout the Conquest here. Moving to Sector 1, 60 staggers. We have 2 teams here that have AoE staggers. Now, I believe Krennic and Colonel Stark are both chances at stagger, like 70%, 80%, I believe is what they are. But they're AoE staggers. Mara Jade can apply stagger to everybody. And then, obviously, as you're applying the debuffs, they loop around and they can come back and try to do it again. So that's a very valuable team right there. I think as long as your Mara Jade goes first, you should be able to control a battle pretty well. Another source for staggers is Kira. Kira is so good at applying staggers because she has an AoE stagger, and this team is really strong. They also apply a bunch of other different things, including buff immunity, but it is what it is. Speaking of staggers and buff immunity, another team, again, we're going to use this very often. It's going to be that Queen Amidala with Padawan Obi-Wan, Master Qui-Gon. I like Echo. Again, we're talking about all the debuffs and buffs that they apply and bears to keep everybody alive, because we do want to survive. We also have 10 battles with tanks only. You can throw together a whole bunch of different ideas here, a bunch of different teams. My idea here is that there are going to be teams in the course of Conquest that Leia can solo. She just has that capability. And so putting some of the tougher tanks that are hopefully going to survive through the whole battle should make it work. And then obviously she has some synergy with Old Ben as well. So we'll see how that one goes. Brutus survive. I have Visas in this lineup. The idea here is, and there's a couple of different ideas here. You can do you could do Maul for Maul DeLoreans. You could do Maul with Super Commando and Gar and Watt and Brutus, and then instead of throwing the tank tech on somebody, you throw the weapons tech on Maul, and it triggers his frenzy, and he starts going. Right, he pops off, and everybody starts attacking out of turn. And if you can whittle people down, you might be able to get out of there without losing anybody, and just beat the whole team before they get to go. So there's that as an option as well. But I like this idea because it has Visas in there, and if Brutus does somehow catch a stray and get knocked out, then you can possibly bring him back with Visas. Anytime you see Jedi Master Luke with Wat Tambor in any of my lineups, right? Wat Tambor is simply there for the tank tech to make sure that Jedi Master Luke taunts. If we have Voluntary Vanguard, which we did not last Conquest, if we have Voluntary Vanguard, you can skip Watt. You can bring another Jedi in. You can bring in Cal or Revan, depending on what you need for that situation here. Buff immunity. We have it on Jedi Knight Revan. You have it on Jedi Knight Anakin's basic. You have Bastila Shan's special. She applies buff immunity. Jedi Knight Cal for the cleanup. So another Jedi team that can get everything done. TIE Fighter Pilot has AoE buff immunity. Maul has the buff immunity on his second special, the one that you can repeatedly throw out at people. So that one's pretty good. You got 2 tanks on that team to keep them alive. Lord Vader also applies buff immunity on his special that generates the ult. So I think that's a pretty solid idea for stacking a couple of buff immunities. Again, giving us multiple options and being able to spread out the energy consumption so that we can play a couple of battles with each team each day and have it eventually amass to completing all the feats. Main thing is getting through the sector, and so you can use these teams through the sector, get through, come back later, finish the feats, clean up any battles you have to. Kix and Jocasta need to survive. I think it's for the mini boss. So one is Kix, one is Jocasta. If you can get them both done at the same time, great. I don't have Jocasta, obviously. But if you, there's another one I skipped. Even when I get her, I'll probably level her to 50 and she'll hold mods for me. You can get them both done at the same time. So I would definitely suggest trying to do that. Supreme Lair Kylo Ren with Daka and Zombie. You use Supreme Lair Kylo Ren swipe. It gives Zombie basically an undispellable taunt. And then Daka's there to keep everybody alive. Same thing with Visas and Brutus earlier. If Daka revives them before the end of battle, it counts as them surviving for the whole battle. So even if they catch a stray and get knocked out, you can have Daka bring them back right before the end of battle and be okay. So there is that option as well. So you could put like a Elder in there as well if you have, a decent Ewok Elder, but I do not. And this team works very well because they can just focus down on Zombie all they want to, and Daka just tank. She's fantastic. She really is a great plug and play dark side character, and a lot of people used to use Kylo with these two to get a lot of work done. And I appreciate using a throwback team like that in a Conquest like this, where they have basically said, we're throwing it back to the last 10 years and we're bringing back all of the, they're giving us some of the raid bosses as bosses and mini bosses in this Conquest. And they're also having us do some of the old school teams that we would put together to beat those raids. So I think that's pretty cool. So that's what those specified teams are. And we have a bunch of them, 1 or 2 in each sector. So, in fact, I think we might have 3 or 4 in Sector 5. So that first boss specified team is, now I don't know if the order matters. I don't know if it matters which one you have in the lead. If it does, then just follow it. But I think Tebow will be the best lead for this because he has a kind of a catch-all leadership. Tebow, TIE Fighter pilot, Qui-Gon Jinn, Royal Guard, and Jyn Erso is going to be that first one. And then CLS Solo is going to be the second one. That one you may want to increase its potency for. There's all sorts of things you can do to help a Commander Luke Skywalker get through a solo battle. Not much else to say about that one. Sector 2, one of the options here, one of the feats to get key cards here is no losses, which is kind of the goal anyways, right? I just put in a team that's pretty good at, one, it's got the cheese of a lot of the times you can put Jyn Erso out there and they'll focus her and nobody will die anyways, but you also have the ability to bring everybody back, even if they do. Bonus turns. I had a lot of fun. We had this come up a couple of conquests ago, and this is a really fun composition. And a lot of the times, what prevented me from getting too many turns was actually just killing people outright. And so, it's probably too good of a team to get it done super efficiently, but it's a lot of fun to use. And everybody here takes a bonus turn. Starkiller only gets the one, I think, when he hits the Unleashed. So once you have all the stacks of energy, he gets one bonus turn. Maul gets a bonus turn every time you use that Unending Rage or whatever it's called. Jedi Knight Cal takes a bonus turn every single turn. Commander Luke Skywalker, when he uses Call to Action, takes a bonus turn. And Darth Vader with his Merciless Massacre will take a bonus turn every single opponent. So that's a fantastic team. It works well. Starkiller's Ami, not the Ami, but the Unique is active. So it's a pretty tough team, and it gets through stuff pretty well. This one you have to have 2 people survive, Vane and Silvo. So we've got the Bare Essentials here, Hermit Yoda, Jedi Master Luke, Wat Tambor. If you can find somebody that has single targets, and not any AoEs, it might be pretty easy here. Again, if you can find a voluntary Vanguard, you can take Wa out. And just to throw back to that previous sector, we can also do the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren Daka Zombie with the same idea. This one gives you bonus turns and days. Days you could, Ninth Sister, Admiral Piet, and Lord Vader all have AoE dazes. So that one's pretty good. You can put them together and get probably, 30 dazes in one battle as long as the enemy survives long enough. Bonus turns, we already talked about Darth Vader and Maul taking bonus turns. Lord Vader also takes a bonus turn when he activates his ultimate, so there's that as well, if that helps. Daze, Captain Rex has an AoE daze. Echo has an AoE daze. This team can get stuff done. If your Echo's fast enough, you can beat a lot of things with that. Mini boss, one of the things is pirates. If you have Pirate King Hondo, obviously this is going to be easy. I'm going to struggle with that one, I think. The other is Jedi Master Mace Windu. I think this is the optimized lineup for Jedi Master Mace Windu for 5v5. So I put that in here as a placeholder, but that's not something I'm interested in. The other teams here, the boss is a Kylo Solo, just the retro red. Some tips for that is give him a lot of protection, a lot of offense, and then anything that helps him recover offense when attacking out a turn, anything that helps him, if it increases his offense while getting buffs, or increases his offense or turn meter while getting debuffs. Discs like that will help with that Kylo Solo. And here's the specified team for that zone. It's Wampinator. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. You control the turret meter and reduce cooldowns and pass turns back and forth and stack a whole bunch of dots and then throw a huge culling blade is how we used to use that in the raid. Sector 3, disarms. I think there are other sources of disarm. Yeah, I think these are three. I think there's only three now that I think about it. There might be another one, or there might be another one coming. I think it might be on the Stranger's Kit now that I think about it. So there might be another one coming. But Wrecker has a disarm on his first special, the single target one. All we have is single target disarms so far. So Chrysanthemum has his. If you have him in a full cartel lineup, he'll start the battle with it. He doesn't need to land it. And CX2 on their special has it as well. So you can probably pick up 15 disarms in 15 battles, to be honest with you. So just as you're moving through, go ahead and throw them out there. Blind, you got blind on Java's basic. You need 10 battles with me surviving. My idea is to throw this together. You can hopefully get people out before they even have a chance to beat you. But even if they take out Smee, you have the ability for Dr. Affer to bring him back. Blind, 80. We need 80 blinds, which we touched on with the Hut Cartel there. Saw Gerrera and 3PO and Chewie have AoE blinds, so that's fantastic. Clones. To defeat 35 enemies with clone troopers is probably going to be this and that Bad Batch lineup are going to be your two ideal lineups to one, easily get through the battles, and two, get those clone kills. For the mini boss, you have to have Maz. I missed that red crate on that last one, so we did not get Maz yet, but anybody who does, free points basically. Well, I shouldn't say free points because I don't have a team to go with her either. I'm sure that you could put her with, even with like the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren team that I have up there, and get through the battle, and it will count. I don't think she even needs to survive it. Another mini boss, Balin. I threw this team together. So the reason I put Mission in here is because she has a blind. So you can get one more blind out of that, if that helps you. Savage Solo. Tips for a Savage Solo, right? If you have anything that helps heal him or when he gains buffs, or improves his offense when he gains buffs, he's going to gain buffs constantly. While they're hitting him, he's going to gain defense up and heal over time. If you do get the chance to smash somebody, so once somebody hits yellow, you hit him with your special, and once it blows him up, takes him out, he'll get a couple other buffs as well. So anything that plays off of his ability to give himself buffs is going to be just fine here. I believe in the list, Cheap Chirpa is listed first, but I moved him. Again, if we have to have Cheap Chirpa in the lead, then that's something we'll have to reevaluate and adjust, but I don't know yet. So if we don't have to have Cheap Chirpa in the lead, Emperor Palpatine at least triggers the Royal Guard Zeta. So yeah, that's the second specified team there for Sector 3 that we can use. So it's the Savage Solo and then the Emperor Palpatine or Cheap Chirpa team here. Sector 4, we need to have Quiggold survive 10 times. My biggest problem with that is Quiggold is a tank. The dude's going to try to taunt. Again, Wat Tambor is here. If we have the opportunity for voluntary Vanguard, go ahead and drop Wat. Put in like a Revan, somebody who can pass turns, and hopefully the idea that I have here is to use Luke. I have a very, very slow Luke. And when he goes, so he's 122, he's going to make all of the defensive team 122 speed, and then your Hermit Yoda, however fast he is, 356. So now your Hermit Yoda is going to be going 2.5 times as often as your opponents. So hopefully that gives you the ability to take them out. Again, you could also put in like a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren with Daka and Zombie, and Daka can revive him if Quiggold gets clapped. Here we go with the evasion ups and no tanks. We've got to do no tanks 10 times, and we also have to do no tanks for the mini boss. No tanks is fairly easy, actually, if you think about it. This Queen Amidala team has no tanks on it. So here I put Echo and Hunter. That's for the evasion up. They both have they have AoE, so it's AoE evasion ups, but it's only for the two of them. But Padawan Obi-Wan passes out evasion up if you have the Omicron, so he'll give that to the full team. Another option is you could do the Bad Batch, and then they pass the evasion up. Both of them will pass AoE evasion up to all clone troopers. No tanks here, but we also have to do dots. You can get dots on Kylo Ren's basic. You get dots. Now you have to apply the dots through the abilities. So I believe the crush and I think it's Unshackled Emotions, but I call it the crush as well because it's basically the same thing. So the crush for both of these guys should apply those dots for us. No tanks. We've got a full first order lineup that doesn't need a tank. Should handle everything that you need it to pretty well. Mini boss, we also have to get a win with Pirate King Hondo. Obviously, only if you have Hondo will you be able to do that one. The specified team, we've got two of them in this zone again. We've got Cody, Echo, Fives, Clone Sergeant, and Princess Leia. And then we also have Finn. I would suggest if you don't have the Zeta on Finn, you're going to probably want it for this. But we have Finn, Poe, Resistance Trooper, Resistance Pilot, R2-D2. If you have Rey, Galactic Legend Rey, chances are you've got this built up already, so you should be fine. Sector 5. 10 battles with 6 to survive. Again, we already have to do 20 battles with 4 of the clones, so might as well just continue that on here in Sector 5. In Sector 5, I plan on using the teams that I have built up and enjoy using, so Traya, we're finally going to get to put her in here. Though there's only 2 sources of tenacity down. It's Darth Malak on his basic and Darth Traya on her Saberstorm. So it's probably going to be a long haul if you're relying on just that, but there are plenty of other options. Defense down. This also has tenacity down on it. That's going to be Third Sister. She applies defense down on an AoE, and Fifth Brother also applies defense down on an AoE. So that one should be pretty easy. Balin. This Balin team, you have multiple stacks of defense down and tenacity down. Both of these are mercenaries that apply tenacity down and defense down as AoEs. So that one should come pretty easy if you run this a couple of times. 10 battles with just pirates. This is what I plan on using. I don't know if this is probably my best option, but if I can get to a point where I have good enough discs that Hondo and Nest can carry, then maybe this is how we get it done here. Mini boss specified is going to be Ventress with Talzin, Daka, Acolyte, Zombie. Again, if you can move the lead, then maybe you run Talzin or maybe you run Daka, but Asajj here with the ability to reduce the turn meter, and then Acolyte has the ability to go into stealth, and then you just have Zombie out there by themselves getting murked over and over again, and then you can hit auto and all that good stuff. So there is that. The other specified team has Hux listed first. Again, if you can change the lead, great. This was the we used to do the 3-man with Kylo, Hux, and Kylo for the Sith raid. So this is a variation of that with Hux in the lead, possibly. Again, we don't know if we have to use that lead, or at least it doesn't read clear enough to me that we have to use the lead. So I would switch Kylo if we can, but we'll find out before I get to Sector 5, I'm sure. And it doesn't say it on here, right? Because it's cut off at the TH for Thrawn. But I did go onto the event server and find out that it is indeed Hermit Yoda, which makes sense because this was the team that I think initially beat the entire Sith raid. Another boss specified team is Commander Luke with Han, Pow, Chirrut, and Death Trooper. And then we have Aura, Enfys Nest, Embo, Dengar, and Greedo. So not a lot of room for some of those boss and mini bosses to theory craft or try something special, because they do require specified teams. Overall, I think that these feats are very straightforward, and so there is an advantage to that. You either know you're going to be able to do those feats or you don't, and so you're able to kind of calculate and figure out where you have to put your effort. Um, Difficulty of the feats, I think, is up compared to the last couple of conquests. I thought Maz was pretty easy. I thought Smeeze was pretty easy. Um, so the difficulty of them is up, but I think that they're able to do that because this character looks like he's going to be bananas, and he's going to elevate that Star Killer squad and free up Emperor Palpatine and Mara Jade. So yeah, this video was longer than I expected it to be, but thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I hope that this information helps. Maybe it gives you an idea of how to do it if you are in a similar boat and you don't have certain things like I do. May the force be with you and keep you strong.